also hear you. Okay, perfect.
Okay, great.
I'm waiting for another person, Fabrizio, that I think that can very soon.
Okay.
Okay, in the meantime, we can present ourselves. I'm Marco. I'm a software developer. I have 24 years of experience. I worked on a lot of situations, scenarios with .NET, Microsoft, Java, Python, Kotlin. Most of times we on the backend, but there were other situations that I worked as a front-end backend, but in particular on Microsoft platforms for client applications on the web, only for some projects, not of its accurate experience, let me say. Now I'm working on a team on London for a project called FIFA Plus. That is the project that for what we are searching for new teammates. And now, Fabrizio, can you explain better what is our project? That is FIFA Plus, but first of all, I pass the word to Emanuele for presenting himself.
Yeah, I'm Emanuele. I'm a software developer with 6 years of experience. I'm working with FIFA Plus about 1.5 years, and I work in another team from Marco, but it's a team more focused on the office. And I also work as a full stack developer if we need to do some work on the front end. So we have both work to the back end and front end. And I pass the ball to Fabrizio to explain you all the FIFA Plus project.
But wait, before Cristiano, if you wanted to talk about you for a minute.
Okay. Well, I'm Cristiano. I work as a software developer since 2007. Always working with Java, so it's been 17 years until now. Both Java, legacy Java, let's say, the full stack Java, which has frameworks like JSF, Struts, and other things from that age. And more recently, using microservices, developing with Spring. I also have experience developing front-end applications using Angular framework from the JavaScript stack, React too, but a little experience with React. It was 5 years with the Angular, and for React about 3 to 4 months. And I had some experience working with native development for apps using Java for Android, the older versions, and a little experience with Kotlin too, both for Android native applications and backend applications using like Spring on Kotlin. So that's a very brief of what I did on those years.
We use Kotlin in Spring in our application.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, thank you, Fabrizio.
So, nice to meet you. I'm Fabrizio. I'm a PM of the FIFA Plus project. What about the FIFA Plus project? It's a big streaming platform for football matches. Most of them are live matches in streaming, but we have also original content, free to watch, and something else. I don't know. In a PM vision, that's more or less all about the platform. In more technical way, Marco and Emmanuel probably can give you more information. how we are structured. We are more or less 10 teams. Some of them are cross-functional with all the technologies inside. Other are more vertical team related to back-end or back office, as we call now, and other are more strictly related to the maintenance of platform. So we have the DevOps team and the performance teams that are looking for the maintenance and the scalability of the platform. We work on Scrum. Not all of the team. Some teams are working in Kanban, but still we have the planning, the daily stand-up, the grooming session, retrospective, and all the ceremonies is related to Scrum. Of course, working in a company like Globant with a client like FIFA is not the agile, like a product company, but is, let me say, a balance between what the client wants and the better way to work in agile. And I don't know if you have some question or...
Okay, I could understand briefly what you do. And I would like to know more about the technologies on this project.
Okay. Yeah, about the technology stack, because our platform is a microservices platform. We have more or less 45 services at the moment. I don't remember the correct number. But in any case, we have services written in
are you there? Can you hear me? Vida reunião.
You're Italian, English,
I'm back.
English.
I'm back. I'm back. I had a connection problem here.
If you prefer to close the cam for a connectivity problem, you can do it. It's not a problem.
Yeah, because we can see now, so I don't know, maybe it's a connectivity problem.
Don't know what's going on. Mike, I have two providers in my house and one is not working, so I switch it to the other.
Okay. I was saying that in our platform we have 45 microservices. They are written in Java, Kotlin, and Python. Consider that we have 2 or 3 services where we use Spring Boot framework. The other, in other service we use other frameworks. I don't remember do you remember the name the framework that we use for build, for example? No, I don't remember. But it's not important at the moment. In any case, okay. For Java services, we have legacy services written in Java, but day by day we are trying to translate on with Kotlin, because we decided to move all Java project to Kotlin because we prefer this new language. And for Python application, we use Flask as framework. For other services, we are using Fast API. It is another framework. For databases, we use MongoDB. PostgreSQL, and also Redis only for one service, but we use only for as a lack of cache, let me say, cache database. Our services communicate asynchronously through Kafka. We have also, I think, a pair of services that communicate through direct call with HTTP. But I don't remember if we have probably we removed it for probably one or two, not more. Consider that most of the cases we communicate with Kafka. For the stack, all platform is maintained by Kubernetes. We dockerize all services and the Kubernetes for it. During the working day, consider that sometimes it happens that we can touch some configuration for the deploy and for modify the configuration of the service on production. But usually these configuration, these tools are prepared by the DevOps team. But in any case, it's very useful to have a knowledge also about that. It's a good thing. I forgot something, but I think that that's technology.
We used to write end-to-end tests with Node.js, Playwright, and we were using it. But we also write end-to-end tests using this, and that's all I think from technical point of view.
Okay.
Yeah, the client for client for clients. Because we have the website that is written with React, an old dashboard that is written with Angular 8 in particular, and we are writing a new dashboard in React, with React 16, if I remember correctly. And the services expose REST API for communicate with the client.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. If you have some other question about the technology, we are here to answer you.
Okay. No, I could have a good overview of it.
Yeah.
And for this particular position, you are looking for a, let's say, multi-stack developer that can write.
I consider that in particular, we are searching a person for the video team, in particular the team when I work on. And I consider that at the moment we are two developers from Europe. We are from Italy. There is a person that is from Spain, and we have other two people, developers, one girl from Chile and one teammate from Argentina. And we need another person from Latin America in order to work with the other from Argentina, because we like to share the knowledge using pair programming. I don't know if you never use it in your career, but
yes, I did.
For that, it's important for us at the moment, because at the moment Nicolas, that is a person from Argentina, during his afternoon he work alone, and we prefer to have another person that we can collaborate with him during the time zone.
Okay, sounds good.
Why we are searching a person from Latin America, but for the skills, we are searching for a person that can work on our services that are written in Spring Boot, in particular the main project that we work on. But it can happen in the future that we can work also on Python projects. I know in your CV that you know also Python, and how much experience you have on Python?
Okay, it's been about, I guess, 2 years ago, I wrote some AWS Lambda expressions for a routine which sent at the time some kinds of notification. So in fact, it was a microservice, a JSON microservice, a REST one, which was called from this Lambda every time we had some changes on the user data. So we had to call this microservice, and then this microservice send a push notification to some users. And above that, I did some study projects in Python, but nothing bigger than that. But as far as I could see, it's easy to learn language, and it's
in any case, it's not, I think that is not a problem if you were to touch some Python service, no? I think.
Yeah, no problem. It will be good.
Okay. We have some question for you about testing. Which type of tests usually you write during your working day, your working on in your career, and which type of tests do you know?
Okay. Well, the most common are the unit tests using JUnit to test Java code. And we, on one team I worked, we use TDD as a development approach. So first write the test, then write the code, but that was not very common. The most common approach is to have a JUnit test to have a minimal coverage of code, like 17%, 18%, that being validated by Sonar on the company. So in order to the code be approved for the Jenkins pipeline, it needs to have a certain amount of tests use JUnit. To write unit tests, always using Mockito to mock the other parts of the code, and sometimes using JUnit to start a background process that simulates the API. So that's not a unit test, but an integration test with an in-memory database like, I don't know, SQLite, something like that, to simulate a real case from the endpoint to the database. That was a thing I already did too on my career, but most of the time unit tests with JUnit. Okay.
In your opinion, why in a perfect scenario we should have a huge quantity of unit tests, but only few end-to-end tests? What is the reason why we have this type of tests?
Okay. Well, in fact, because unit tests are easier to test specific classes of the code, so you can get a better coverage this way. And for the integration test, let's say, which not integrated, but the test you test the entire application, once you have tested correctly the small parts of it, you only have to do integrated tests just to make sure that everything is, glued together. So there are no problems on integration from one layer to another of the application, from the REST controller to the business classes and to the repositories and so on. That's the reason I see.
Okay, it's correct. And also because probably because the unit tests are fast to execute.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The reason
sure,
is that
sure.
they are very fast.
Yeah, you have to start the application and then.
Yeah, the integration is lower, and the test is very slow because it tests the application, and also Frontend if you need. Okay, thank you.
Okay, and what about architecture of the code? So do you know some architecture? For example, do you know about the clean architecture? Do you ever use it?
Okay. Well, for clean architecture, what I understand is the way to build software where you minimize the amount of classes you write. So, for instance, if you don't really need multiple implementations of one interface, you just use the implementation. You don't use an interface. So, This way you have a code that has less classes on your application, and you don't need all those interfaces. And maybe on the past, it was very common to see systems built using facade and delegate. So you had a lot of classes there. And when you have clean architecture, you try to use the least amount of items on your system in order to achieve a good organization of code. So it's very common to have a MVC pattern, even from only backend, where you have the REST classes, where you define your endpoints as the view part. You have the business classes where you write business logic as another class, and another one for repository and entities as the model class. So this very small architecture, let's say, is very common on the market, and once you don't need all those interfaces, you are using a kind of clean architecture for that. I also worked with monolithic systems and microservice systems, so it's a different approach of architecture. And also I don't know how, hexagonal architecture too, where you have the mappers and this part of classes to do from one part to another of the system.
Okay, so clean architecture, hexagon. Do you know other architecture that you use in your career?
Well, as a design pattern, very common is to have singletons, where you have beyond the scenes on Spring. So you have one instance of that class. Then when you use an auto-wired annotation, you have just one instance of that class. So I guess those are the main ones. So hexagonal, microservice, and monolithic applications, clean architecture, and the singleton as a design pattern. I guess they are the main ones.
The singleton. Do you like singleton?
Yes, I like it. Currently using Spring, it's very...
I don't.
You don't like? It's very easy. Just put annotation.
Because the problem of the singleton is that it's not simple to mock in the tests. It's better to inject a real object, and you can mock of all the behavior of the object that you have in your class. I prefer to inject not an helper, because many times helper is a static class in most of cases, but I prefer to use a collaborator that as your state, as his state, its state, its logic. And in this case, it's better to have a not singleton. Obviously, also frameworks, you can set a class with a singleton construction, but in any case, the singleton is something that I prefer to don't use in my projects usually, but okay, it's not a problem to use it, but the problem is that is related to the tests.
Yes.
Don't use it.
That makes sense. On the test, sometimes if you have the actual class, it's easier to implement.
Yeah. And do you know the solid principles?
Yes, as an overall idea of having clean code. So the goal of Solid is to have a code that is easier to maintain, and it's beauty to look at into. So we have these 5 ladders. The first one is single responsibility. So if you have, for instance, a person who can run and carry things, it's better to separate into 2 different classes, a runner and a carrier, so you don't make a lot of things on the same class. You have the Liskov substitution, which is one where all the childs of a class In fact, the parent class can always be replaced with a child class. So for instance, if you have a window, you can have a window that opens like this, another that opens like this. But if you have a sealed window, I don't know how to say that in your contract, but a window that doesn't opens, then you cannot have it inside this hierarchy because you could not replace it. There are every letter means something, but at the end, when you apply Solid, you get this situation.
What is your favorite one? The one that you use more frequently?
Okay. Oh, I guess that the first one, the S, is the better one because you can separate the behavior of things inside your project. So it's the one I use the most. The list of principle is not very common to use because I don't usually have hierarchies on my software. So I just have an entity and a controller. And, I don't have this situation. It's not very common on the systems I work on.
Well, the less used is the open close, probably.
The open close
is probably the best in theoretically, but probably we never use it because it's very hard to write a code that is open only for adding and not for update. It's very, very hard to write this type of code, in my opinion, for my experience.
I agree with you.
The one that I use less than the other.
That makes sense. We try to do that using privates and protected and so on, but in practical, you always use the same. You have the private variable with getters and setters, so it's like it was a public one. So you are not really implementing the open closed principle.
And one question regarding the communication from microservices. So do you work on microservices architecture, right?
Yes.
Okay, so which type of communication we can have and what are the benefits of the different type of communication between microservices?
Between microservices? Okay, so it was not very common to use it this way. On my experience, I always use so I have a front end calling a microservice, and of course, sometimes I need to integrate this microservice with another one, but I don't remember if I ever used some specific way of doing that. I just call the microservice, so I never used a more complex approach to do that.
So in your opinion, which type of communication is a REST communication from microservice?
Okay, what kind? What I didn't understand. What do you mean by that?
Do you know that there are synchronous communication?
Oh, okay.
Asynchronous communication.
I see.
So REST says which type of communication we can have with REST code.
Okay, when you have a REST, it's a synchronous communication because the client waits to the server to respond. For asynchronous communication, I never used that between microservices, just using queue. So I put something on a queue, being RabbitMQ or Kafka or whatever, and then I have another class reading from this queue. So for asynchronous approach on the back end is this, I use it. And on the front end, you have the mechanism of callback. So you can, it is like a synchronous operation, but in terms of code, it's treated like a synchronous operation because the system is not freezed, you waiting for the response. So that question was good because you have a synchronous call in the sense that the client application waits for the server to respond, but in a technical point of view, the application keeps running until a response reaches. So it's a synchronous one. I guess that, makes sense.
But just to talk about this, Kafka is asynchronous or synchronous?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Kafka is asynchronous communication,
Yes.
Or synchronous, is asynchronous. Right?
In communication, I may think about that because when you are putting something on the queue, the application is waiting until Kafka confirms that this was queued. But in a more architectural sense, it's a synchronous approach, because once the client application puts something on the queue, it's not waiting until that item gets processed by the other side. So,
Okay.
That makes sense? Okay.
So thank you for the response. And I think that now it's time for the little test that we do in some situation. So do you know kata? Do you ever do kata? Kata?
KATA? No.
Yeah, so, no problem. It's like one exercise that you can do about programming that is focused on something, for example, kata for refactoring, kata for testing, kata for everything. It's an exercise that we will do together. You share your screen and maybe we together can build a RPG combat system. You ever play RPG video games, role-play games, video games?
Yes.
Okay. It's an exercise that uses this as base to build a RPG combat system. So I shared with you a repository, Git repository, that have a README that give you the basic information about this system. And what we need to do is to build this from the beginning. So we can start from the first iteration. So it's something
We don't have to finish it. It's only.
Yeah, for sure. We don't have to.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I share with you all the repository because maybe you can read everything and be more confident about it. But we need to start from the iteration 1 and build what we can do in a short time. So take your time to read the exercise. If you have, so feel free to ask, no problem. And everything is written in the repo. So you can use the language that you want, Java, Kotlin, Python, the language that you want. And that's it. So let's do it together. And
Okay.
using the IDE or the IDE that you want.
Okay, I just need to give permission here on my...
Take time, no problem.
Just give me a minute. Because it's not allowing me to share my screen, don't know why. Caraca, velho, tá uma bosta isso aqui, velho. Sorry for that. I have to restart
We
my
can't hear
browser.
you, Cristiano, sorry, but we can't hear you.
Okay.
We try to...
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No.
Just give me a second.
Maybe
Can you hear me now?
try to switch with another microphone.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, now
you
we
can
can hear
hear?
you.
Okay,
And
so
we can see your screen. So.
you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you
We see
send?
Safari now.
Yeah. I guess that's it. Can you send me the link again, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good. So I have.
Yeah, RPG Compaccata, this one, okay. We need to start from the first iteration or the first point of the first iteration, so step by step.
Okay.
We can start with this.
We can start with it.
With the first point of the iteration 1. We can start with it.
Okay.
Can arrive, First part.
I got. So I need to implement this in Java, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Java or another language.
Java, Kotlin, Python, what we prefer.
Okay. Let me.
I don't know if you have an IDE in your machine.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. Let me share the IntelliJ. I guess it will be better. Okay.
yeah, just to create one project from scratch and do all the steps that you need to implement.
Okay. I guess I don't know what goes on with Meet. You know, I'm not very used to it. I use Teams currently, so I don't know. Now I don't see the share button anymore. Just give me a second here. It's disabled. Okay, really sorry about that. I joined from Chrome to see if I can have a better experience here.
Okay.
Can you see it
Yeah,
now?
maybe try to share it. Okay.
Okay, good. Really sorry about that. So we start building a new class here. I will call it Monokata. Then okay, let's start implementing the first thing here. Okay, kata. So the first iteration is I will copy it here to make things easier for me. Okay, so so here what do I need to implement? I need to create the classes for the characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's create a class here to be a character. Then I will have healthy and level.
and the alive or dead.
Okay. Okay. So health, level, alive. So for health, I will use integer. For level, I will use integer 2. And for this one, I use boolean. Okay, so let me just put things here. Semicolon. Also, I will have to implement to make the code easier. I will keep the variables this way to not having to write getters and setters. Okay, just to make sure.
Because we need to add the logic and a test that verify that the logic is correct.
Okay, so let me create here a iteration one test. Okay, so here what I expect to do, I will have a kata. Let me create, of course, the method public iteration test. Start with one test, then I can add another to have a notation here. I don't know, maybe I have to add it on POM because this POM is, I will get the...
But maybe the IDE can give you an advice on which library to take.
Okay, let me put it here, dependencies. You mean that here it maybe have a...
Yeah, give some suggestion.
Okay, great, sounds good. Yeah, the JUnit, let me see if it really added. Okay,
It's easier for you to use.
Great, it's here. Thanks for that help. So now I have, okay, good. So what else?
Yeah, maybe we need to write the name of the return of the
What is it telling me? Oh yeah, for sure. Sorry for that. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so I will have the kata here. I'm starting like this and then I will make it better. So kata dot start. How can I call it? Start. I'll create characters. I will call the method create characters. Okay, so I will implement this method here.
But probably the simplest way is to try directly the constructor of the character class, not the kata. Probably kata is not needed.
Okay, okay. So instead of having a business class to implement the logic, okay.
No, we can try directly to instantiate a character, and we can verify if the character is created how we expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me just copy it here. Make my life easier. Okay, so health starts at 1000, level starts at 1, and alive start alive. Okay, true. Okay. So in my test, I will do this is not a good name for the class. I will rename it. Refactor, renaming. I will call it kata character.
Yes, okay.
So it's better. So I have kata character, new, and then I will have health 30 equals. Let's see if I have it here. Maybe I have to import this method. Yes. What's over here? What's going on here? strange. Okay, so do the same for the other properties. It is health level.
Why we need to use the optional?
I really don't know why it was complaining. Maybe I have imported the wrong assert. Ambiguous method call. Since it's an integer. That's very strange.
I consider that we don't see the pop-up on your IDE because we are sharing only the IDE. So we see only the code, not the pop-up that you open.
Okay. So it's saying that it's saying that ambiguous method call.
If you put probably you have to revert you have to put the 1000 before as the first parameter.
Oh yes, that makes sense. Yes, that's expected and the actual large.
Yeah, but in any case, I don't know why. If you use an int instead of the integer for the help, probably is better. Because the integer is nullable in Java, no?
Yes.
For this reason, we have to set it this way.
Okay.
Now you should.
It's okay.
Okay.
That's strange. I never saw this kind of
it's normal
error.
Because with Java, the objects are always nullable.
Yeah. But I never saw this kind of error in JUnit having to use an option. Maybe something with this version of JUnit or whatever. So now it's okay.
Probably yes. The old version probably it's not a problem.
Let me run it to see what happens.
Change the assertion, because there is a problem about the
Yes, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can reflect the test using another type of assert, not assert equals at the end, right? The assert equals can be an assert.
Assert.
The last assert equals.
I did not understand what you say. You have a
The last assert equals. We can write the last assertion in another way.
This is the last assertion. Yes, assert true, right?
Okay.
Yes.
It's a detail, Dutch.
Just because the IDE tells you
Yeah.
just to follow the
Okay.
IDE.
Okay, that's true. So,
But we can discuss about a little thing before proceed. Can you open the kata character class, please? Okay. Now we have in the kata character the health, level, and alive that are public properties of the class character. Do you like it?
No, in fact, just to make the code easier to read for the test, but I would use as a private, So have getter and setter, or maybe using what's the name, Lombok for that.
No, please.
You don't like Lombok?
No, please.
Okay, but I just used it as public just to make the code easier to write for the test.
Yes, but consider that in all projects where we had Lombok, we are removing it.
Okay. Why?
It's something that is very heavy for the code, for the for the build, and you don't have the control of your classes.
Okay.
Because with Lombok, you automatically create all getter and setter and a lot of other things. But we prefer to write the getter and setter of property only when we need it.
Okay. Not for all the properties.
Not by default, let me say. Okay. In this case, we can have different approaches. We can add. What is your suggestion for proceed?
Okay. Well, for this particular approach, we could have maybe private for all of them, and then having methods, which are business methods that will change the value of the variables, and having gathers to be able to see the state of each.
But for our test, what is the minimum quantity of code that we need?
Okay, for this test, we just need the gathers and and we just need the constructor and the gathers, so I can implement it here.
Okay, we can do it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll have then now private, and then I will write the getters and setters. I will just the getter,
No.
not the getter and setters. Okay, so I have the gathers here.
Okay.
And here I need to get health, get level is alive. Okay.
I prefer this version.
Okay, it's better.
But why, in your opinion, this is the important question. Why it's better to don't have public properties and it's better to have private with method to change the values?
Okay.
What is the reason?
Well, in this approach we are having here, since we will have like this class is not like a plain Pojo, which will just store values. In this situation, it would be better to have public or even getter and setters. But since here we can implement, for instance, an example here, add health. So we will have like a business, let's say, operations inside this class. So it's better to use this approach, because this way we are preventing the unwanted changes on those values.
Perfect. It's the correct answer. Good. Perfect. Okay. If you have time, we can proceed with the second point.
Okay.
I don't know, because maybe we can do back.
A couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have a couple of minutes to
If I have a couple of minutes to continue.
if you want, if you can.
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Only the next step.
Okay, so I will put it here just to make it easier to read. Okay, so damage to characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Only this one.
Okay, good. I will implement this one I will first choose TDD. I will first implement the test.
Yeah, if you want to, it's better if you want to do it with the TDD. Absolutely.
Okay, so I will keep the creation of the kata character here. Then I will use kata character dot damage and pass one the damage I want. Okay, and then I can have an assert false. And
Pay attention. The character cannot deal itself, but another character.
oh, okay, so I have
Deal the image to another character, not to myself.
Yeah. Otherwise, this like character can be only itself.
Suicide.
Oh, I see. So I need to. Okay, but here on this part, what I'm receive damage. That is what I mean, because I need to pass.
Not at all. We need that the kata character can deal a damage to another kata character.
Okay.
This is the final result that we want.
So I got attacking here,
Okay.
and then defending here. Then I can use attack.
Okay.
Defending, but I just have a question here.
Yeah, probably.
How do I calculate the damage?
We can pass. I think that we can pass a value for the damage. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
maybe the attack damage, the attack can have
Yeah.
the
Damage.
target and the amount of damage. That
okay,
Yeah.
good. So let me do that. Integer damage equals 2000. And then, okay. So then the defending one is false for this test. Now I need to implement this method. Okay, so if I need at first to calculate if damage is bigger or equal or health. Sorry about that. Health, then health becomes 0, alive becomes false. Otherwise, I will have health equal health minus damage. Okay, so here I need another test case. Dice. I will call it this one dice. And I'll call this one ratio 2 alive. So for this I will have a damage of 500. Cert true. I can't put other test here.
Hey, Robert.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Cert equal defending dot health. It needs to be 0 in this case. And for the other case, it needs to be 500. So let me run.
try to run both the tests. If you think that everything is completed,
Let me just check what happens. So, okay, I have a problem here. So for iteration 2, what's going on?
It seems that we are not subtracting.
maybe in the method that you created there is
Okay.
a problem.
I think I have a problem here.
Okay,
Yes.
If damage is everything is on the defending one and not on the.
yeah, everything is.
Okay, let me write then again.
And there's another one.
There is another one.
49, there is another one.
Sorry?
Defending dot health.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
Look.
let me just run them again. Okay, now they are working.
I don't remember if in this iteration we needed to add another point or not. I don't remember. I can divide together. Do I disperse from it when the result is corrected? Okay.
Perfect.
After we completed the iteration.
Yeah. We don't have time to complete all the exercise.
Oh yeah. But if you want, it's a very funny exercise. I completed it, I think, 10 times in different ways. It's very funny.
Yeah,
Different program languages with different approaches. Yeah, it's very funny.
yes, for
Also,
sure. It's
if
good.
you are interested in, there are a lot of data on the web. There are data for refactoring, for design patterns. It's very funny. It's a way to improve the knowledge of how to proceed in this type of situations. I suggest you to fun with it.
Okay, yes, it's very funny to do this test. I like it very much.
If you read all the data at the end, you can also move. You can deal damage depending on the distance of the target. It's very good. Very fun.
Okay,
And
for
I
sure.
don't know if you have some questions for us.
Yeah.
It's your time. If you have some.
Okay, no, from my side, It's everything okay. I could understand the technologies you use, your expectation for this role. For me, everything is okay. I would like to know about all the other steps of the process.
There are no real other steps. We are doing some fit interview for the same role, and at the end of those fit interview, we are giving a feedback to you and also the other candidate, and let's see what's happened.
Okay.
There are other steps.
But if the feedback is good, probably you are joining the team.
Okay, good to hear.
Without any other step.
Okay, very, very good.
Cristiano, are you from Brazil?
Yes, I'm from Brazil, São Paulo City. Okay.
São Paulo. Okay. We are all Italians.
Oh, Italians. I could not see by the accent.
Understood it.
Yeah, that's very good.
But to say that in the team there are people from, as I said, from Latin America, Argentina, Chile, but also from other European countries. But in general, and also a person from Canada, but it's the only one person.
Just one.
Just one, because it's impossible to work with people from Canada. It's impossible.
I never worked with anybody from Canada, just from India, United States, and Latin America.
Okay. No. That's it. Okay. Thank you, Cristiano. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It was very nice to talk with you, and hope we will talk again soon. Bye bye. Caraca, velho, que reunião interessante essa aqui. Foi bem... Tive vários problemas técnicos aqui. Foi a minha pior parte aí da reunião, né? Inclusive, acho que vocês estão vendo ainda. Travou a minha cara aqui. Não sei porquê. Mas, enfim. Nem tinha visto que travou aqui, mas eu fiz esse kata, né? Esse kata é um negócio que a gente faz aqui, ó. Muito legal, galera. Olha. Mais uma vez aquela sensação, né? Olha o que é um kata. É isso aqui, ó. É um negocinho, um projetinho, né? Que você pega no GitHub. Tem aqui, ó, github.com. github.com/kata, né? Isso aqui é um trem que chama kata. É um trem que você faz. É um tipo de teste que você faz. E ele é bem simples, entendeu? Para você fazer esse tipo de entrevista, eu acho que é o ideal, mano. É bem melhor do que fazer aquelas entrevista com algoritmo, com essas coisas, né? Que é o terror do dev. Então esse aqui, por exemplo, eu implementei esse kata caractere aqui, ó. Que ele é um personagemzinho. Aí eu coloco a saúde dele, o nível, e se ele tá vivo ou não. E aí aqui os métodozinhos, né? Para pegar a saúde, o nível, se ele tá vivo. E aí implementei um método aqui para ele atacar e defender. E aí aqui eu fiz mais um negocinho, entendeu? Então, mano, é muito show, velho. Kata. Que mais empresas usem o kata em vez desses negócios que eles usam de HackerRank. Que é um teste rápido, dinâmico, que você faz ali. Dá pra conversar, é um pair programming. Essa entrevista era pra FIFA, cara. Trabalhar pra FIFA, já pensou na plataforma de stream deles lá. Então, mano, muito interessante. Fiquei feliz, mano. Gostei de fazer essa entrevista. E o mais surpreendente é que é uma fase só. Então, se eles gostarem de mim, pode ser que eles me contratem, né? Então, é isso aí, velho. Esse foi o teste de hoje. Obrigado por assistir mais esse vídeo aí. Continue acompanhando a jornada.